I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is, should you date women who have children? It's a good question. What do you do if you meet a chick and you really like her and she's got kids from her ex-husband or ex-boyfriend, or maybe she's got kids from a couple different guys? I've seen those situations before too. And I got a quick email. He says, hey Corey, he says, I was wondering about this. He says, what if a woman that you're going out with has children? What are the positive and negative aspects of dating women that have children? Should we date them or not? And number two, I'm not the type to have sex with my girl when she is on her period. How can that affect our relationship? Well, me personally, it's like, I don't date just any girl, and I don't sleep with just any girl. When I was younger, it wasn't that big a deal to me. But once I got to the point where I started having really super high quality women in my life, that I was dating women that were total 10s, I loved them. And it's like, I don't have sex. I make love to a woman. If I'm making love to a woman, I'm passionate about her body. And it's like, I don't give a fuck if she's on her period. And if you've slept with a few women and you've dated enough women and had relationships with them, you'll know that there's a few days, like usually the last few days that they're on their period, they'll be hypersensitive and they'll have really great orgasms. And so, like, at the topic, because a lot of women are kind of ashamed about it, they're embarrassed about the fact that they're bleeding. And I'll just say something like, baby, I don't care. I've got my Red Wings a long time ago. I love you, I adore you, and I don't care. You can get all your fluids all over me. Because I don't know if you've ever dated a woman that when she comes, it's like literally like a 5-gallon bucket on you of water, like whoosh, it just all runs down you. It's like, that's sexy as hell. And that shit doesn't fucking bother me. But if that's your thing, then just simply don't have sex with chicks when they're on their period. But back to the question about women with children. Now, I've dated a lot of women over the years that have children. And here's what I've realized is that if you really love a girl and you're really into her, you'll love her kids as well. But if you're not really that into her, then you're really not going to want to be involved in her kids' life or hang out with them, especially if you're just hanging out and hooking up with her like a friends with benefit kind of thing. And so, I mean, it really depends upon how much you're into the girl. And for me, if I'm dating somebody that I really like and I'm really into, what I've found personally is if I really love her mother, I'll really love her kids unconditionally as well. And I spent a lot of years dating women that had kids and developing friendships with them and getting to know them and helping raise their kids. It's a wonderful experience because kids are our greatest teachers. I learned a lot about relationships just from, I'll give you one example. Like one of the women that I wrote about in my book, she had a little girl, and I learned so much from her little girl, and even some of the stuff that's become part of my philosophy of how women are in relationships. Like I wrote an article a while back called "Why Women Prefer to Chase Men," and it was an observation that I made from her daughter and how she interacted with me as a father figure, and I was able to see patterns in her little girl that all women exhibit these behaviors and how they go to a man for strength. Because I talk about in my book, there's a part where I talk about how you want to be her rock, you want to be her mountain. And if you ever observe little girls and how they interact with their fathers and how because women are like cats, but there comes a time when they become insecure about themselves or unsure of themselves, or they're mad at that little boy at school who put bugs in her hair and calls her all those funny names and who's always teasing her. And she'll go, when she gets home at night, or her daddy gets home at night, she'll go sit in her lap and she'll say, "Daddy, this boy at school, he's being really mean to me, and he put a bug in my hair, and he was teasing me and calling me names." And then the dad will go, "Well, honey, the reason he's doing those things to you is because he obviously has a crush on you and he likes you and he's teasing you." And she'll go, "Really? Because I like him too. I have a crush on him too." And it's like, there you go. And then she'll hop up off his lap and go run around, dancing around, where 30 seconds before she was all sad and about ready to cry. And now she got love and reassurance from her daddy, and she goes about her business. And when women are adults, they also do this. That's why they'll reach out to you, because when they become a little unsure of themselves, when they haven't heard from you throughout the day, that's why they'll reach out to you and call and say, "Hey, I was thinking about you. I can't wait to see you again. I had a really great time last night." That's how, when women become adults, they'll interact with you in those same kind of patterns. And so kids are our greatest teachers. And what I love about children is there's no filter. It's like they say whatever the fuck's on their mind whether it's appropriate or not. And the more time you spend around women that have kids, they'll teach you a lot. So what I have always done in those relationships, I've usually said to, I'll just say, why don't, if we get serious, or once we get serious, then let's involve your kids at that point. Because what happens is kids get attached really easy to you, and you don't want to see kids get attached to you and fall in love with you and look at you as a father figure when you're just sleeping with their mother for sex. And so it's always better, if until your relationship gets serious, to just not involve the kids. But once you become boyfriend, girlfriend, then absolutely involve the children, because you'll learn a lot about yourself and you'll learn a lot about life just from watching and observing kids, because they're really loving, they're really adoring and really sweet, and they'll love you unconditionally, and it'll totally change your life. I mean, the girl I wrote about in my book, her daughter totally changed my life, made me a better man just by being in her life and helping raise her, and just being around her and watching her and observing her and listening to her and talking to her and counseling her and being that source of masculine strength to her. And so, I mean, absolutely. But, I mean, it's totally up to you. I mean, there's some guys that are like, I don't want to date any girls that have kids because I don't want a kid from another relationship. And that's fine. If that's your decision, then you shouldn't date women that have kids. But, I mean, it's up to you. To each his own. So if you have a question that you want to ask me, or there's a topic you want me to talk about in a future video newsletter, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab, which is going to be on the left-hand side of your screen. Send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max detailing your questions, your situation, your challenges. And you just got to give me several days to get back to you with a response, because I get a lot of email from the internet. And I also get a lot of it from my paying phone coaching customers. But be patient, and I will get back to you. And if you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. And you can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which is going to be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. And if you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, you don't have to have a Kindle device. All you have to do is go to my website, and underneath the email sign-up box is also going to be a box that will have a link that will take you to the Amazon Kindle download page for my book. Once you get there, on the right-hand side, there'll be a button that you can click that'll bring up a window so you can download one of their free Kindle e-reader apps for your Android smartphone, or your Android tablet, your iPad, your Mac, your PC, even your iPhone. They have an app for pretty much every electronic device or smartphone out there. It takes a matter of seconds to download and install it, and then once it's installed, it only takes a few more seconds to download my book, and you'll be reading it in no time. And I will talk to you soon.